to show you, and Mike, I am sorry if I do not describe everything as I should properly. So I know it is a Harry Potter build. Beyond that, I won't be able to describe as much. So one thing to note already, I'm going to include some leather conditioner in here. This Horween strap is super soft and comfortable, but this keeper, which is the standard size, is a little tight. So I'm probably going to send it to you, and it's already going to have leather conditioner on there. I've been leaving it on here to kind of get that to, like, you know, loosen up or something like that. But it is tight. It is a tight piece. So I can get it on just fine, but it's not on my wrist, you know. So I'm going to put some leather conditioner on there, see if we loosen this up just a little bit. But, so Harry Potter build. You haven't got to see any of it yet because I'm still fumbling with the watch in front of me. So this watch was an interesting adventure building. So Mike wanted the logo done up in maroon, and he wanted the background done in black, which I had not done yet. So we lasered, well, it's acid etched out the logo on silver, and we matched some paint and dropped some paint in there. So it was that with silver all around it. Then I had some brass ager, and the brass ager works really weird with my silver as it darkens it. So I just kept dipping it in there and darkening it and darkening it and darkening it and darkening it, and this is what we came up with. It didn't affect the paint, which was awesome. So saying that it's black might be a stretch. It's definitely a version of black, but that bold dark black like this, it is not. I tried and tried and tried to get it darker, but I would say it's black. It's just not super dark, you know, as dark as black would be. So but I thought it turned out killer. So we did a brushed case and a brushed bezel on it to make the dial pop. And then I did some silver, like Omega style hands on it, and then a custom painted seconds hand. And then I did a bit of red on this, on that dot, just so that it would pop a little bit against the maroon. So that's that part. You wanted a lightning bolt there on the crown. If that will focus, there we are. A black strap with maroon stitching. So that's this part here. And I went ahead and just put a black. It's so weird for me to put silver out here. I could have put silver, but I always kind of think that it looks good on the backside and in black when it's on you. So, man, so that was the next part I was going to show you. So how this leather works is you've got a piece that's looped back on itself, glued, edged with leather paint on the sides, and then stitched. So it's the thickness of half of this is the loop. So what that ends up doing sometimes is catching. So if it ever catches, just pull, put a little bit of tension on it, and now it will come down. Okay, same up here. Pull just a little bit, and then it will move. See, if it gets caught there, pull just a little bit, and there you go. Pull just a little bit, and there you go. Now, over time, it will work itself down because that thickness is rubbing right there, right? So over time, that it's going to get rubbed off, and then it's going to be a nice, easy, full-on drop. But you can see, catches. So that will work its way in over time and be more and more flexible. This bottom ones are pretty much already there, but the top one's still just a little bit thicker. But exhibition case back on this. super low profile, so it can fit your wrist really nicely. It just barely sticks down there. Gilded rotor, stainless steel movement holder in there. And yeah, what I was getting at is I think when it's on your wrist and it's down here, the black on black looks good, and the silver kind of would stand out weird. Though it would match the case, I usually match them. When I do black, it's really weird for me to, I don't know. I looked at it for the longest time. If it's brown leather, I'm always, oh yeah, you just put silver, it matches. You know, it's a good break. But when you're down here, I'm always like, well, I can just put a black one on there. So that's what I did there. Now this band, this also comes with a separate band. So we've got a full-on stainless steel as well. So the stainless steel makes the dial pop even more because it's the only piece with color. All right, come on, just focus on it. So it is the only thing with a pop of color. So you've got two options there. So the cool thing with this one is you've got a, you're going to have tension spring bars on this one. I'm going to pack this one separate for you. So those go through here and pull all the way down, right? So it'll kind of sit in there by itself. So when you go to do this, it's really simple. You'll just pull this and that drops your lever in there. So when this has tension against it, and you can pop this right out. So taking this off to put this on is going to be super quick. Taking this off to put this on will take you a little bit of time, because whenever you take off this leather strap, you'll want to go from the back side and just kind of pull down just slightly. See, you can see that spring bar in there now, which I don't know why my phone goes, we're just going to focus on nothing. Let's just focus on nothing. Take both hands off. Has it focused on the beads back there? What is it focused on? See, if you pull it down just a little bit, now you can pull that down. So that's all you got to do. Just pull it down just a little bit. But go from the back side. In case you use the side and kind of wedge, if you like nick off part of the leather, you put like a divot in it, you just don't want to do it on the top side, right? So that's all. That's my little tip for that part. But I'm going to send it in the leather just so that it can continue to work against itself and maybe open this piece up just a hair for you. At least let you slide it on your wrist a little bit better. So that is your custom SS band, and you wanted me to engrave always on there. So I didn't want to do block letters or anything like that. I thought a nice cursive would look pretty. So look way better than just throwing out the I don't know, my guy does a lot of block letters on stuff, which is fine, but that just wasn't the approach for this watch. So that is the build. Though this won't matter to you because the bezel doesn't really do anything applicable for you, but you can turn it left, you can turn it right, and you might not even tell you're turning it. But it's not clickable. It's just held on with a tension ring. And it's brushed, so if you ever nick either one of these, use a Scotch-Brite, just go one direction with it and brush it in. Next, automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it, you can put it in a watch winder. But if it is dead or you're not going to be very active, pre-wind it a little bit. So you'll back off your crown from your threads until you hear it clicking, and you'll feel a little bit of play. At that point you can wind, and a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it backwards does nothing, but it's a lot easier and smoother and quicker. So you just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, you'll keep time. If you do it for something closer to 20 seconds, you're going to max out your 31+ hour power reserve. Though you cannot overwind it, you can wind it all day. So don't worry about it, just keep winding. This is what I do to make sure your watch is running through the night and everything's set properly and the hands are not bound, the movements, no issues, because I'm not wearing them around. Pull it to the one and only click, you can now set your time. You'll notice you do not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. Sometimes you get that little stutter kick back. You'll notice you've got a wobble crown. It's going to deflect lateral pressure from going into the stem, going into the movement. So it's kind of like a little ball joint on the end of there. To help with that, I just kind of pull back, put a little bit of tension on there, and set my time. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 3:13 p.m.
3:13. Just push it right back over, thread it back down, and you are done. So that is your build, sir. Like I said, I'm going to put some leather conditioner on this, especially around this piece right here, and what it connects, so that it just maybe opens it up just a little bit. Matching beads to go with your watch, up to you whether you wear them or not. Matching box for you on this as well. And then with this build, you're going to have a few things. You're going to have some watch cleaner. Now, if you had the SS band on this watch, everything would be perfect for the watch cleaner. It's non-toxic, non-residue, non-streaking. So if you have the leather on, just apply it here to clean your watch. You're going to have that leather conditioner. I'm going to include it. I'm going to use some of it, though, on this leather strap. This keeps it nice and soft. If you have anything that's tough at your house, apply it, let it soak in, and then remove any excess. A little bit will go a long way. And then lastly, you're going to have some fine scratch remover in here. This is an acrylic glass, and you can scratch it. If you do, no worries. Put a tiny bit on there and buff against it, filling that scratch with your included microfiber. Buff that out, and about 15 seconds later, it will be as good as new. Only use what you need, because the rest of it's going to soak into this or get pushed around here, because it can only go into that scratch. The rest of it's not going to just go into the acrylic. So there's that part. And then lastly, you'll notice in your box you'll have your laser etched custom metal build and warranty card. So I appreciate you reaching out and having me build this. This was a bit of a tough build. It took a little bit longer to do that dial. I think it turned out well for hoping that it would. I thought we could do it, but I wasn't sure if we could. And the wife initially did it and said, hey, that Harry Potter doll is not going to turn out. And I went up and looked at it, and I was like, no, but maybe we can just keep dipping it and dipping it and dipping it and dipping it and dipping it until it's consistent. And I just kept doing that, and it seemed to work. So, and it didn't lift any of the paint, which is the other thing that I was worried about, because I didn't know what it's going to do. Because it's not just going to, age what's there. Wherever it soaks into, it's going to age as well. So I didn't know if that chemical adjustment would break the bond of the paint where it was attached, but it didn't seem to. Everything seemed great, and then I went back and hit it with some clear coat, and it turned out really well. So I hope you love the build, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me and having me build you something, and I hope you love it. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out, and I'll see what I can do. And until next time, appreciate it, everybody.